So there is a specific type of pain that hits you when you get denied for something that you know you can afford. Okay, so you're not broke, you're not struggling, you're not behind on bills, you actually have some money, cash flowing, you making bread, right? But guess what? You walk up, you walk to an application, to that application, to the car, for the apartment, for a credit card, whatever it is. You fill it out with no real concern because logically you should be fine, right? But guess what? And then it comes back declined and not approved. A specific type of fucking pain when you know you can afford it, but you still get denied, okay? And you're standing there confused. You don't know what is going on. You're embarrassed. You're angry because the money is there. The income is real. You're making bread and none of that mattered. Because if you have the money and you still get rejected, logically it don't make sense. You're like, what the fuck? Why is this going on? Why is this happening, right? And that happened to me exactly. So I know how that feel. And it was the moment that I knew everything in how I understood credit completely changed. I was like, okay, I need to educate myself a bit more on credit, okay? And if that happened to you and you've been getting denied for something that you knew you could handle, stay with me because for the next 10 minutes, because I'm telling you, bro, what I'm going to tell you is exactly why that happened to you and what you need for it to never happen ever again. Because I don't want that to ever happen to you. Not for me, not for anyone who's watching my type of content. All right? So pay attention. I came to the United States from Saudi Arabia. I had no credit history, no nothing, no score, not a profile, no nothing. So from Saudi Arabia to the United States, okay? From the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to America, the land of free. So I had no history, I had no nothing. So me having no history, guess what? It made me invincible to the financial system. Which means the moment I needed anything, guess what? That required a credit check in this country and it's almost everything, right? I was invisible. I remember the first time that happened to me. I applied for something and I won't tell you exactly what it was, but I will tell you this. I have money for it, okay? And I had income coming in, I was cash flowing, and I was working, I was building, I was serious. But almost every like real world measurement I could handle. Like I could handle it for sure. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? Fucking denied. I needed credit, denied. They denied me for it, okay? Even though I did have an income, even though everything still denied. So, and that denial didn't feel like a number on a screen. It felt like I took it personal. And I felt like the system looked at me in a way that, okay, I wasn't good enough. I remember that guy when he told me I was denied, he gave me the look. I just feel the energy. I felt his energy. And he was like, yo, denied. And he just gave me this bad energy that I just took it super personal. But because I didn't know how to play the game. Nobody explained this shit to me, bro. Literally, nobody explained this shit to me. I had to learn it deeply by myself. Not my parents, not school, not anyone. Okay? And credit in the United States, guess what? It literally operates on completely different logic that most people grew up with. And if you don't know the rules, you lose, like literally and repeatedly. And without ever understanding why. So I started learning everything. Not just applying whatever random application, not from YouTube channels, no. So seriously, I went so deep to it, right? And I started understanding a lot of it. There's a lot of loopholes to the system, how lenders actually evaluate a profile, what the algorithm is actually looking for, what is the difference between a score that looks decent and a profile that actually gets you approved for high-limit business funding. And what I found changed everything for me. Everything. And here's what nobody tells you when you get denied. Your score is not what got you denied, guys. Your score is not what got you denied. Your profile structure is what got you denied. It is completely a different thing. This profile structure is the reason why people get denied or approved. The score, it is not the reason for approvals or denials, okay? And the fact that most people treat them as the same thing is exactly why most people stay stuck forever. And let me explain this very, very clearly to you, okay? I want you to pay fucking attention. So, your credit score is just a number. One number, and it is generated by the algorithm, by an algorithm that looks at 5 categories. Number 1, payment history. Number 2, utilization. Number 3, length of credit history. Number 4, new credit inquiries. And number 5, credit mix. Those are the things that indicates what credit score you must have. So it takes all of that to just produce a number that is called credit score, which goes from 300 to 850. But the lenders, right, don't just look at your credit score. You know what they look at? When you apply for something, for a credit card, a car loan, a business line of credit, an apartment, underwriter, or whatever, guess what? There is an automated system that pulls your report, not just the number, the entire motherfucking file. Do you understand? And the file tells a whole story. The story is either gonna sound like, okay, this guy is trustworthy as a borrower, or he's a risk that they don't want to fucking take on. Do you understand this point? So, for example, you can have a 680 credit score with a profile that tells a clean, structured story, consistent payments, right? This is what I mean, a clean story. You have a consistent payment, you have no collection, you have a lot of inquiries, you have nothing. You can have a 660 credit score with a profile that tells a clean, structured story. Okay, what I mean by a clean structure, I mean consistent payment history, utilization under control, no collection, you have good amount of account mix, and you have a clean record of inquiries. That right there, guess what? It will get you fucking approved because it is a clean profile. It is not messed up. You can have a 700 that is a complete mess. Max out credit cards, the utilization is above past 70%, 1 or 2 collections sitting there. Guess what? A stack of hard inquiries from applying to things over the past year, a thin file with only one type of account. That profile right there, it will get you denied. Do you understand? Same score range, almost the same, but it tells completely different story, completely different results. You have to always keep this in mind, okay? And the game is this. That is the game. And people who don't know the game, they just see the rejection and they don't understand why. They don't study it. They don't reverse engineer. They assume the score needs to be higher and that's it. And they just wait. They try random things at random Tuesday and nothing meaningfully changed because they're exactly in the same spot. The score is just an output, guys. The credit score itself is just an output. The profile is the input. And that's what they look to get you approved. When I dug into my own situation and then into the situation of every client that I've worked with ever since, I see the same problems show up again and again and again, right? They have usually, what they have is they have high utilization, more than 60 to 80%. It can go even to 100. I've seen even 120 credit utilization. And high utilization is literally the first one. And this alone is enough to kill an otherwise decent profile. Do you understand? Utilization is the ratio of what you owe on a revolving credit compared to your total available credit, available limit. Do you understand? So lenders want to see that you have under 30%, ideally under 10%. 10, 30%. Ideally under 10, okay? So, for the best profiles positioning, you will get the best results ever. And most people that I see are just sitting around what, 60 to 70, sometimes even higher. The cars is maxed out, every dollar of available credit being used to the lender. That signals, guess what? Credit dependency, and they don't want to see that. The idea that you need credit to survive, that is a red flag to them, right? And it hits your score hard and heavy, but more importantly, it makes your profile looks like, guess what? It is a liability regardless of what the score says. So that is number one, which is the high utilization. Number two will be collections. Collections are the second one. Even one open collection on your file can literally end an application before it starts. Meaning, Lenders gonna see a collection, and then they're gonna see someone who already failed to pay the debt back. Do you understand? It doesn't matter if it was years ago. It doesn't matter if the amount was small. It doesn't matter if your life situation has completely changed. That mark right there is there, and it will be visible at any moment they pull your file. And it's super important for you to do credit repair and remove it from your file. Number 3 will be what? Inquiries. You're having too many inquiries. This is a huge red flag. The reason I say so, because every time you get a hard inquiry, guess what? It lands on your report. And the brutal irony of this is people who needs credit the most are the ones who've been denied the most. Usually, you have the most inquiries because they kept applying again and again and again, hoping the next time will be different. You know what I'm saying? So each denial led to another denial, because that left a mark on their credit report, the credit profile, and each application added another inquiry. And a stack of inquiries is by itself a red flag that tells the lender that you've been aggressively seeking for credit and getting rejected by people. Do you understand? So those 3 things that I just mentioned, which is the high utilization, the collection, and having too many inquiries, guess what? They show up almost every single time whenever I see a client is stuck with his credit profile, with his credit score. And none of them get fixed by just waiting. That is the catch. None of them get fixed by just downloading an app. None of them gets fixed by checking your score every single week. And the thing is, they get fixed through a specific sequence of actions done in the right order. After I understood what actually was happening, I stopped reacting and I started building. This is very important. So you need to stop reacting and start building. Okay, that's number 1. And I treated my credit profile, my personal credit profile, the same way I would treat a business. You don't run a business by hoping things get better, right? You identify what is wrong and you build strategically with the right sequence, and you monitor the results. Credit work is exactly the fucking same, right? I started with audit. So you need to fully audit the entire 3 credit bureaus. That's very important. Once you do that, once you pull from all 3 bureaus, not just the score, the complete file, every account, every mark, every inquiry, every place of data that any lender would see when they pull from your profile, I needed to know exactly what the file said before I could fix anything, okay? First step to fix any problem is by identifying the problem. Then I identified every derogatory mark, collections, late payments, anything that is negative on my report. And I started working throughout each one of them systemically, figuring out what needs to be disputed, what could be negotiated, what could be removed, what needed to be paid in a specific way to minimize the damage. You can either remove them, dispute them, or even negotiate them. You can negotiate by talking to the collection party, asking them pay to delete option. Okay, so you can see a meaningful change in the utilization within a single billing cycle. And this one is huge as well, if you do it the right way. So I got a strategic about which cards to pay down first, how much to pay and when, specifically with the timing of it. Because payments before the statement closing dates, I had to make sure I make my payments before the statement closing date, so the right balance were being reported. And then I stopped applying for anything until my profile was ready. Do you understand? Once I fixed my utilization, I completely stopped applying for new credit card until my profile is entirely ready. And when I did that, I made sure I don't get a lot of inquiries and everything. And you have to fix the foundation first. Once you fix the foundation and then you apply strategically, the right products, you're gonna get approved for the right product at the right time. And then I started building the right account structure, which is super important, which is having the right mix, age, stability. Do you understand? So the right age on an account, with the right foundation, the right combination of products that tells the lenders that, okay, this profile is mature, it is diverse, it is a low risk, and that is the goal. And guess what? It will take time. I'm telling you, it will take time. It took time for me. It wasn't overnight, but it was structured. It was a process, and not just a guesswork, not hoping, praying, be like, oh, hopefully. No, a real sequence that moved the profile in a direction towards approvals. The people who stay stuck in this situation are the longest, guess what? All have one thing in common. They keep trying to fix themselves, fix it by themselves without understanding the system. Guys, you have to understand the system. You cannot just hope for it. You have to have the right system, the right strategy. And I'm not saying that to be harsh. I'm saying it because I was that person. I tried to figure this out by myself, on my own first. And I read things, I tried things. I just wasted months doing things that moved nothing because I didn't understand the sequence, the timing, or what actually mattered. Do you understand? And the credit industry in general is deliberately confusing people. The rules are not simple. The bureaus don't want to make it easy. The dispute process has a specific language, a specific timeline, and most people will never know how the negotiation process with collectors has leverage points most people are not even aware of. And the strategy around the utilization, the account mix, and the inquiry management requires understanding, okay? Because how lenders actually think is completely different on how the apps present it to you. Most people are just making decisions based on what Credit Karma tells them. Credit Karma is a marketing platform, guys. This is something that a lot of people don't know. Credit Karma is for marketing. Credit Karma, marketing, motherfuckers. Do you understand? So it shows you a score based on a model that most lenders don't even use. What is called the Vantage score. The Vantage score is that what they display, and it is not the same model that most banks run when you apply. Do you understand? You can have a 700 credit score on Credit Karma and 640 on the score the bank actually pulls. It is completely different. And the people who move the fastest are the ones who stop guessing and start executing a real strategy, not just chicken tips here and there, a random TikTok video. No, a structured plan built around their profile specifically that focuses on utilization, account mix, inquiry control, and profile story. And that is why I started doing it for myself. And that's why I have been doing this for clients ever since, again and again and again. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell every single person who comes to me stuck in this exact situation. Your profile is not broken forever. Your score is not permanent. And denials that you have been collecting are not a verdict on your financial future. Okay, they are just the result of a profile that has not been structured correctly, and that's it. That's the whole problem, and the problem has solution. So if you are sitting at 580, at 620, at 650, making real money, showing up, doing whatever you're supposed to do, and still you're getting denied for things that you can easily handle, now the strategy is fixable. It is fixable. I have a free masterclass that breaks down every single thing, the full system, not on a surface level, not on a generic advice, the exact process, what to audit, what to fix first, how to build the right structure, how to position your profile so that when you apply for a high limit credit or business funding, you're not hoping, you're positioned, you know you're gonna get approved for. The link is in the description. After watching it, if you want to work directly with me and my team to get this done faster, there is a form at the end. Fill that out and we will get you on a call. You have already wasted enough time not knowing what you're doing. Don't waste any more time. The link is in my bio.